Marriage doesn't end when someone cheats. It doesn't end when love fades. Sometimes it doesn't even end when someone disappears. Sometimes marriage ends the day you realize the person next to you is smarter than the truth and crueler than you ever imagined. Nick Dunn wakes up on his 5th wedding anniversary with a feeling he can't name. It isn't fear. It isn't sadness. It's something heavier. Something quieter. The digital clock reads 6 in the morning, and that alone feels wrong. Nick has never been a man of clean schedules or perfect timing. His life has always drifted, yet today his body wakes him up as if it already knows what's coming. From downstairs, he hears noise, cabinets opening, metal clinking. Someone is cooking. That surprises him. Amy hasn't cooked in a long time. For a brief, dangerous moment, Nick lets himself hope. Maybe this is an attempt. Maybe today will be different. Maybe anniversaries still mean something. When he goes downstairs, Amy looks flawless. Her blonde hair is tied back neatly. Her posture is straight. Her movements are controlled. She hums softly as she cooks, like a woman completely at peace. If someone were watching from outside, they would see a perfect wife in a perfect kitchen on a perfect morning. Nick feels nothing. Their conversation is polite, empty, careful. They talk the way strangers talk when they don't want to reveal anything real. There is no warmth, no tension either, just distance. Nick understands something most people never admit out loud. You can live with someone every day and still feel utterly alone. Their marriage didn't begin this way. Years earlier in New York, Nick and Amy were electric, smart, witty, equal. Conversations flowed effortlessly. They challenged each other. Being together felt exciting, like finding someone who finally spoke your language. They married believing love and intelligence would protect them from anything. Then reality arrived. The economy collapsed. Nick lost his job as a writer. Amy lost her career. Confidence drained away. The city that once made them feel alive became unbearable. Money became tight. Frustration replaced ambition. Slowly, they became smaller versions of themselves. They moved to Nick's hometown in Missouri, a place Amy never wanted to live. The town felt dead to her. Quiet streets, empty houses, a massive rented home by the river that felt cold and isolating. Nick opened a bar with his sister and found purpose again. Amy stayed home, unemployed, disconnected, and furious. Resentment grew quietly. Arguments turned into silence. Silence turned into avoidance. Love turned into obligation. Nick started lying, not always about big things, but about feelings. Amy noticed everything. Amy always noticed everything. Nick leaves for work that morning with guilt sitting heavy in his chest. When he returns later, his world collapses. The front door is wide open. Inside, the house is chaos. Furniture overturned. Glass shattered. A table broken. The scene doesn't look accidental. It looks violent. Nick calls Amy's name again and again. There is no answer. He searches every room. Upstairs. Downstairs. The basement. The backyard. The river dock. Behind the house. Amy is gone. She didn't take her phone. She didn't take her purse. She didn't leave a note. The police arrive quickly. At first, it's treated as a missing person case, but the house tells a different story. There are signs of a struggle, and in cases like this, suspicion always falls on the same person. The husband. Nick doesn't help himself. His reactions don't match expectations. He smiles when he shouldn't. He talks too much. His grief looks awkward, distant, incomplete. To the police, and soon to the public, Nick doesn't look like a worried husband. He looks like a man hiding something. Then Amy's diary is found. Page after page describes a woman slowly becoming afraid of her husband. A man who drinks. A man who gets angry. A man whose moods feel unpredictable. The diary is intimate, emotional, convincing. It gives Amy a voice even in her absence. And it takes Nick's away. Nick reads it and barely recognizes himself. Not because it's completely false, but because it's selectively true. Flaws become threats. Weakness becomes danger. Every argument becomes evidence. The media explodes. News vans surround the house. Nick's face fills television screens across the country. Experts analyze his body language. Commentators dissect his tone. Strangers online decide his guilt before any proof exists. When Nick's affair is revealed, public opinion turns brutal. America doesn't wait for facts. America wants a story. And Nick fits perfectly. What no one knows is that Amy Dunn is alive. She's driving across the country alone, stopping at cheap motels, watching news reports about herself on flickering televisions. She listens as reporters describe her as brilliant, loving, kind. She watches Nick struggle on camera. She smiles. This is exactly how she planned it. Amy didn't disappear out of fear. She didn't run because she was weak. She designed her disappearance like a story. The diary was never meant to be honest. It was written for an audience. The police. The media. A future jury. Every word chosen carefully. Every emotion engineered. In Amy's mind, Nick failed her. He stopped trying. He lied. He cheated. He made her ordinary. And to Amy, failure is unforgivable. She planned everything. She stole money slowly, so it couldn't be traced. She planted false clues. She injured herself, just enough to leave blood behind. She staged the house to look like a violent struggle. Nothing was rushed. Nothing was accidental. At first, the plan works perfectly, but control is fragile. The money doesn't last. She trusts the wrong people. She gets robbed. Stripped of cash and confidence, Amy experiences something unfamiliar. Powerlessness. Not fear. Humiliation. Desperate, she turns to a man from her past, someone obsessed with her. At first, she believes she can control him too. But obsession becomes another cage. He wants to own her, not protect her. Amy realizes she's trapped again, so she adapts. Because Amy Dunn always adapts. She kills him. The murder isn't emotional. It's practical. She stages the scene carefully, turning herself into a victim once more. Blood becomes costume. Trauma becomes currency. She rehearses her story until it feels real. Then she returns home in the most dramatic way possible. America welcomes her back. She is no longer the missing wife. She is the brave survivor. Interviews follow. Tears. Praise. Sympathy. Nick stands beside her, smiling, knowing the truth. He sees it in her eyes. The calm. The calculation. The warning. Nick tries to expose her. But the world doesn't want the truth. They want the ending they already accepted. Amy understands this better than anyone. Then she delivers the final trap. She announces she's pregnant, using Nick's own DNA. Now Nick is trapped. If he leaves, he becomes the villain again. If he speaks, no one believes him. If he stays, he lives in a prison disguised as a marriage. From the outside, they are perfect. Inside the house, they are